Every weekend, the Hunter family goes to Waffle House for breakfast. And every weekend, Kayzen asks to sit in Devonte Gardner's section.
Why is he your favorite?
Because he's really funny. He treats everyone with respect.
Kayzen a great guy. Ever since I met him the first time I met him when he came to my Waffle House, we connected and bonded from right there.
During a recent family visit, the Hunters learned Devonte was forced to walk or hitch a ride to work due to car troubles.
Kayzen came home and was like, "Mom, we have to start Devonte a GoFundMe."
The 29-year-old father of two was forced to move out of his apartment and into a motel because of black mold.
I still have my daughters to take care of. That's my main focus right there.
It's a heartwarming story of a young 8-year-old customer of the Waffle House. Loves his favorite server there, Devonte, and he knows he had some issues with getting to work and even maybe some issues inside his house. So a GoFundMe was run, and they raised tons of money, more than $100,000. And Devonte pointed out in his interview that now he can rent a decent spot that doesn't have all these issues. But the question then comes up, because we talked about this with other things. Why is this now the way that we have to go about things? Maybe a livable wage, maybe a offering of housing that isn't disastrous like that as well. But let's go to this graphic about what is that then went down in his house that he had to deal with. Graphic 1, you guys. Black mold and rat infestation in his previous apartment forced Devonte Gardner, his wife, and those 2 young daughters to leave their home and most of their belongings. The family moved into a motel, and they were barely scraping by on his Waffle House tips. Kayzen was moved, the family was moved by Gardner's story, and coincidentally, their own family left a rental in 2019 because of the same type of mold problems. They said everything in the house was then ruined. So, people were forced out and trying to figure out ways to get the things. But lastly here though, and I think this may be the question that popped in many people's heads, is this is the way we go about issues now? I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of other folks who don't have livable wage type of jobs and they needed to find a way too. And we just kind of go, find a GoFundMe, maybe you'll go viral. So this is what the GoFundMe CEO said about this use of that site. When we started in 2010, it wasn't purposefully set up and built to be a substitute for medical insurance. A crowdfunding program, a platform cannot and should not be a solution to complex systemic problems that must be solved with meaningful public policy. But the people that solve it with those policies don't care. So that's why we can't, Trey.
Wow, first of all, be still my heart. Is that a CEO who, seems to be actually making sense where it comes to this stuff? And not just because I GoFundMe, I would have just assumed the CEO would have been like, yeah, the more money that's going through our system, the better. But for him to be like, listen, this isn't how it's supposed to be working, gotta at least have a little bit of respect for that guy. But this story, I mean, I'm with you. When I first saw the story on the rundown, I was like, all right, this is gonna be another one of those supposedly heartwarming things that really highlights the dystopian nature of our society, where people that work extremely hard can't afford to live and have to be bailed out by the goodwill of strangers, and we're all supposed to just light up over that and everything. But then I watched the whole video, and 2.5 minutes into it or whatever, I'm like, I mean, it is pretty sweet though,
It got you.
It got to me, yeah, because I don't know if it's because I got sons and they're like 10 and 11, they're barely older than this kid, and it's just like, I don't know, kids being sweet. The dude is clearly very sweet too. It's just the whole thing. I don't know. It's like, it kind of did warm my cold, dead heart, even though I agree with the context of the video. It shouldn't have to be that way, and it shouldn't have to happen. But still, these seem like sweet people, and good for them.
It's impossible not to have your heart warmed by this, because it's such an act of kindness that we see amongst so many citizens. But it sucks that so many people have to be in a situation where it has to go to this point. But yes, I feel great for Devonte. Good stuff. I'm glad he got it, and also the family that helped him out. I'm glad you guys were there. Maybe we should have people in office that make sure we can have access to housing that we can live in. Just a suggestion.